Milky white mist rolled slowly through the rows of tall corn. The sun rose faintly behind the bare trees. John Bell stood still in the middle of the field, his silhouette surrounded by the morning mist. In the distance, the faint shadow of an old woman stood at the edge of the woods. The orange light of the evening sun shone through the windows of the old wooden house. In the simple dining room, the Bell family sat around a long wooden table. Candles burned dimly, casting shaky shadows on the walls. Betsy's room is dimly lit by a faint candlelight. It was a gloomy morning. John Bell stood examining the outside wall of the house. The silhouette of a doll stood under the tree branches, turning slowly in the wind. The doll's head was detached, and its empty eyes stared straight ahead. Under the tree, a skull-shaped rock protruded from the ground. Betsy and John Bell Jr. lie awake in the dark, surrounded by moving shadows from candlelight. Lucy walks through a blackened cornfield. In the mist, Kate Batts stands motionless. Pastor James sat in the middle of the living room. He read a verse of the Bible, while the candles suddenly flared. Betsy writhed in her bed, and then the marks of the whip appeared one by one on her skin. The family gathers in silence. Suddenly, a deep female voice is heard from all directions.
My name is Kate.
Young Kate Batts is accused of being a witch by the men of the town. He was tied up, then said,
I will go back.
Bell's field lit itself up in small streaks of blue fire, showing strange patterns forming in the field. John stood in the middle of the flames, not knowing what to do. The clouds rolled in quickly, and the wind suddenly stopped. Lucy walked down the dark hallway carrying a lantern. A baby's cry was heard from an abandoned room. When the door was slowly opened, the room was empty. As the bells enter, Kate's voice is heard from the empty altar. The cross falls to the floor. The chair moves on its own. The cross burns in the background. The priest woke up in the guest room of the Bell house. His eyes were red. The wall behind him was written, "The truth has come." On a foggy night, John Jr. chases a white silhouette. He runs through the fields until the girl stops. Then she disappears inside the dark cave, showing ancient symbols and small bones. Lucy turned her head. Then suddenly mist flowed into the cave from her mouth, forming Kate's face for a moment, and then disappearing. Betsy screamed as she convulsed. Her body was lifted into the air by an invisible force, then slammed to the floor, showing the clock that had stopped ticking. Kate's voice was shrill, full of hatred and satisfaction. The kitchen was dark, lit only by moonlight from the window. Lucy found a small bottle of thick black liquid under the table. The worn label read, "Drink me." Kate laughed softly. John lay in bed. His breath was labored. Outside the window, lightning struck silently. Kate whispered, "Go to sleep, John." Her body stiff, eyes open staring at the blank ceiling. Gray sky, drizzling rain. The wooden crate was lowered into the muddy ground. From behind a tree far away at the edge of the forest, the silhouette of a woman in a black robe stood watching. The house seems quieter. The floors no longer creak, but the camera shows a chair slowly rocking on its own. Betsy is drawing something in a book, the symbol of the cave. She doesn't realize she's writing a name. John Jr. sat alone in the old living room. Suddenly, the fire in the fireplace flared to life. Kate's voice came again, older, more bitter. "I'll come again, when the time comes." Years have passed. The cave is now quiet and covered in bushes. In the darkness of the cave, whispers can still be heard, and the name Bell carved on the stone wall. A little boy was exploring the forest at dusk. He approached the cave holding a flashlight,